The sun shines brightly over Hollywood as the vibrant energy of a television studio hums with anticipation. It is time for a brand new episode of the Newlyweds Game, a stage where love, laughter, and the occasional domestic surprise take center stage. The audience settles into their seats, their chatter fading into a warm silence as the announcer's voice rings out to introduce today's stars. From Hollywood, it is the Newlyweds Game, and here are today's newlyweds. Couple number 1 has been married for 9 months, the energetic Felicia and Calvin Alford. Couple number 2, married for 11 months, are Paula and Ron Baldwin. Moving to couple number 3, married for 14 months, we meet Sherilyn and Mike Crump. Finally, couple number 4, married for 8 months, are Kristen and Matt Kramer. As the applause swells, the legendary star of the Newlywed Game, Bob Eubanks, steps into the spotlight with a wide, welcoming smile. He thanks the audience repeatedly, feeling the genuine warmth in the room. He greets the 4 couples, asking if they are ready to play the game. The couples respond with an enthusiastic yes, their faces glowing with the excitement of being in the right place at the right time. Bob expresses his happiness to have them there and explains the first steps of the journey. To begin the game, the ladies must be sent off to a soundproof area so the husbands can answer the first set of questions in private. As the ladies exit the stage, Bob reminds the husbands that he will be asking 5-point questions. The goal for each husband is to predict exactly how his wife will answer the same question later. If the answers match, the couple earns 5 points. The stakes are high, as the couple with the most points at the end of the show will win a magnificent second honeymoon. With the ladies safely tucked away, Bob turns his attention to the 4 gentlemen for the first question. He wants to know about the state of romance in their young marriages. He asks whether their wives will say that the husbands owe them more rain checks or if the wives owe the husbands more rain checks when it comes to romantic moments. Matt, representing couple number 4, is the first to speak. He says it would definitely be that she owes him more rain checks. He explains with a small smile that she always has a lot of things going on and usually says, "Well, not tonight, honey." Bob nods, understanding the classic excuse. Mike, from couple number 3, has a completely different experience. He admits that he owes her more rain checks. He explains that he works a lot, and by the time he gets home, he is so tired that he falls asleep real fast. Even while Sherilyn is sitting there waiting for him and calling his name, he is already deep in slumber. Next is Ron from couple number 2. He believes she owes him because she works a lot, specifically at night, which leaves him waiting for those romantic rain checks to be cashed. Finally, Calvin from couple number 1 shares his perspective. He says he owes her more rain checks and expresses a hopeful sentiment that she will eventually collect them. The second question takes a turn toward the magical and the practical. Bob asks the men to imagine they are David Copperfield. He wants to know what specific item their wives would say they would make disappear from their home, never to be seen again. Mike starts by mentioning a bookshelf that has been sitting in their home. He notes that his wife has been trying to get rid of it for quite a while. Ron, on the other hand, points to a much smaller but more annoying problem: ants. He describes a real bad ant problem they have been facing, much to Bob's surprise. Calvin suggests the telephone should disappear because he feels his wife spends all of her time on it, and he wishes it were simply gone. Matt chooses something financial, stating it would definitely be her credit card bills because she loves to shop so much. The final 5-point question involves completing a sentence. Bob asks the husbands to imagine they are speaking during the creation of their wives. The sentence is, "If they had asked for my opinion when they were creating my wife, I would have said, 'Hold it, you can't give her such a blank what?'" Ron goes first and says a flat but. Calvin follows with a more vocal critique, saying they shouldn't have given her such a big mouth. Matt offers a more specific observation, saying they shouldn't have given her such an inability to play sports. Mike rounds out the group by saying they shouldn't have given her such a wide or broad opinion because she is very opinionated. Bob thanks the gentlemen and announces a short break, promising to reunite the newlyweds and see how well the predictions hold up after a few messages. During the break, the audience learns about Relaxium Sleep, a product developed by neurologist Dr. Eric Ciliberti. The commercial explains how it helps people fall asleep and stay asleep without being habit-forming. Another message highlights Bespoke Post and their Weekender Box, a cocktail aging kit that supports small brands. There is also a heartfelt tribute to the late Richard Dawson, the former host of Family Feud, shared by his son Gary Dawson, celebrating what would have been his birthday. Back in the studio, the atmosphere is electric as the ladies return to the stage. Bob explains that the husband's predictions are written on cards and the couples will earn 5 points for every match. He welcomes the ladies back and starts with the first question about romance and rain checks. Felicia is certain that Calvin owes her more rain checks because he is always sleepy or watching television, clutching the remote instead of focusing on her. This is a perfect match, as Calvin had predicted he owed her. Paula, however, says she owes Ron more rain checks, which matches Ron's prediction perfectly. Sherilyn agrees that Mike owes her more rain checks, explaining that she is often after him while he just wants her to go away so he can sleep. This is another successful match. Kristen also admits she owes Matt more rain checks because he wants romance all the time and she simply cannot keep up, resulting in another 5 points for their couple. The competition heats up with the second question about what would disappear from the house. Paula suggests dirty laundry, but Ron had predicted ants. Although they have an ant problem, the laundry was her primary concern. Sherilyn thinks of her blue hair rack that she wears to bed, but Mike had predicted the bookcase she wanted to get rid of. Kristen accurately identifies that Matt would want to get rid of the bills, specifically the credit card bills. She admits she won't let him cut them up and would just get more if he did. Felicia also suggests ants, but Calvin had predicted the telephone. A playful argument ensues as Felicia denies being on the phone all the time, despite Calvin's insistence that she is always talking. For the final 5-point question, the ladies try to guess how their husbands completed the sentence about their creation. Sherilyn guesses a big love handle, but Mike had said a wide opinion. Kristen thinks Matt would say a beautiful face, but is surprised to hear he actually mentioned her inability to play sports. Kristen humorously defends her coordination, claiming she even beats him at games. Felicia correctly guesses that Calvin said a big mouth, admitting that perhaps she does talk on the phone quite a bit. Paula guesses a big opinion, but Ron had surprisingly mentioned a flat butt. The show pauses for more messages, including information about the NetSpend prepaid MasterCard, which helps families manage their finances without a credit check. Viewers also hear about calming heat from Sharper Image, a therapeutic product combining heat and massage to relieve aches and pains. When the show returns, the husbands are moved offstage, and it is the wives' turn to make predictions for 10 points each. Bob asks who fantasizes more during moments of intimacy. Sherilyn, Paula, and Felicia all believe their husbands fantasize more, citing reasons like wild imaginations or an interest in magazines and movies. Kristen, however, claims she fantasizes more, jokingly stating that her husband better be thinking only of her. The next 10-point question asks what character trait the husband has that none of the wife's girlfriends are crazy about. Paula suggests his sloppiness, Felicia points to his moodiness, Kristen mentions his constant lateness, and Sherilyn says he is not very talkative. The final 10-point question asks the wives to complete a sentence about their husbands being a hotshot at something, even though the wife taught them everything they know. Felicia chooses decorating the house, Kristen and Sherilyn both choose driving skills, and Paula chooses hooking up electronics like the television. A final bonus question worth 25 points asks the ladies to name their husband's favorite professional sports team. Kristen guesses the Los Angeles Lakers, Sherilyn says the Steelers, Paula chooses the Anaheim Angels, and Felicia is certain it is the Rams. As the show nears its conclusion, a series of commercials play. Battle Vision storm glasses are introduced to help drivers see clearly during heavy rain and storms. Worthy.com is highlighted as a place to sell diamond jewelry, and Quest is presented as a way for singles to meet new people. Finally, Imperfect Foods is mentioned as a sustainable grocery delivery service. The gentlemen return to the stage for the final reveal. On the question of who fantasizes more, Ron and Mike both guess their wives, while Matt and Calvin guess themselves or their wives. Most of these do not match the wives' specific predictions, leading to some light-hearted banter about what exactly they are thinking about, ranging from Mel Gibson to tropical locations and unlimited credit. Regarding the character traits, Mike guesses his belching, but Sherilyn had said his lack of talkativeness. Matt correctly identifies his tendency to oversleep and be late, matching Kristen's answer. Calvin is surprised to hear he is considered moody, having guessed his lack of romance. Ron guesses his quiet nature, but Paula had labeled him as sloppy. In the hotshot category, Matt guesses playing cards, but Kristen had said driving. Calvin guesses singing, but Felicia had said decorating. Ron guesses cooking, but Paula had said hooking up electronics. Mike also guesses cooking, but Sherilyn had pointed to his driving skills. Before the final scores are tallied, the grand prize is revealed, a fabulous one-week Caribbean cruise aboard a Costa cruise ship, visiting beautiful ports like St. Thomas and Grand Cayman. It all comes down to the favorite sports team question. Ron correctly names the Angels, bringing his and Paula's score to 30. Mike guesses the Lakers, but Sherilyn had said the Steelers, so they stay at 5. Calvin correctly names the Rams, bringing his and Felicia's score to 35. Finally, Matt correctly names the Lakers, matching Kristen's answer and bringing their total to 45 points. Matt and Kristen emerge as the grand prize winners of the Newlywed Game. Bob Eubanks congratulates them and thanks all the couples for participating. With a final wave and a warm goodbye to the audience at home, the show concludes, leaving everyone with a sense of joy and a reminder of the humorous, enduring bonds of marriage.